What's up, world, and welcome back to the Global Frequency. I'm your host, Nefarious, and even though you can't see Freak Girl, she's on the other side of the desk. We have a very special Dutch edition of Featured on the Frequency today. So we're at a bit of an earlier time because we've got Dave Brink of Genuine Comics and RJ Carter from Critical Blast here to tell us about their crowdfunding campaign for Perfect 10 Deluxe Hardcover Artists Edition, available on Fund My Comic. Dave, RJ, welcome to the show.
Yes!
Glad to be tuned into the frequency.
All right, glad to have you here. So before we dive into the book, let's catch up on everything that's happened since we've had you here last. I know, Dave, we had you on for Perfect 10 number 3, and RJ, I think we had you on for The Devil You Know. But why don't we, start over as though we didn't know anything about you. Dave, what kind of comics do you like to read? And is there anything on the stands that's currently caught your eye?
On the stands, what I like to read is I used to read a lot of superhero material, like mainstream stuff, but that's kind of done. That's kind of over. The last series that I actually followed were The Savage Dragon and Invincible. Invincible that's over. Savage Dragon sucks nowadays.
It's been a while.
So I kind of moved over to indie and doing my own thing. So I'm creating my own superhero stuff, but I also like Junji Ito, so the horror like manga stuff. That's really awesome. And I recently got Berserkers for the first time, so that looks awesome also.
Of the crowdfunding books or indie books, I should say, that you read, are there any you can recommend to our audience?
Yes, Only Death Can Save Us from Ross Leach. Yeah. That's a fantastic comic. Did
you get number 2?
I backed it. I didn't get it yet. I don't think it's done yet. But I backed it. Yeah. That looks really cool. It has that old-fashioned style, old-fashioned atmosphere. It's not really gory. It's about death, but it's very superhero-like with fantasy elements. Really cool.
And Russ's art is really something else. I have the first one. I've read the first one, and I actually back in 2021, I think nominated it for Comic Book of the Year. It was that, and it was the sleeper hit Undead Border from 656 Comics. That was another fantastic book that kind of got completely missed. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Only Death Can Save Us. It's a good call. Mm-hmm. RJ, what about you? Is there anything you're reading on the stands that catches your fancy, or any crowdfunding books that you could recommend for our audience?
On the stands, I really like the Last Stargirl miniseries. I mean, I pretty much like anything Jeff Johns writes. And when it comes out, I like to pick up the New Justice Society series. I've been digging that again, Jeff Johns. From crowdfunding, of course, there's this Perfect 10 book that's in its 4th issue. I really recommend that. But for sheer fun of 90s superhero, mainstream 90s superhero, I really like Austin Huff's The Masters. He's getting a lot of the 90s artists to draw those characters.
I haven't even heard of it. That's interesting. I'm going to definitely check that out. Now that's kind of why we do this whole like, what are you reading thing, because it's always fun for me to encounter things that I'm unaware of that kind of slip below my radar. So. Or just aren't on my list of things.
Bart Sears, Pat Broderick, all the names you would recognize drawing different chapters of this thing.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you've got a thing for kind of anthologies, right? We'll get into that in just a minute. But Dave, as a writer, you've got a pretty prolific catalog, right? When did you start writing comics, and what was your first book?
I started actually writing comics in 2014. My first book was Earthling, and looking back right now, it's not really that good. I would do things completely different now because I learned so many things during these last 10 years. But you need to start somewhere, and I basically started because I wanted to draw, but so I brought in other writers, but I noticed that other writers didn't really write the things that I wanted to draw or that I wanted to make. So I was like, these are my stories. I need to learn how to write them. So I had to learn to write, and I didn't know that I could even do it. I didn't know if I had the talent, but I just gave it the shot. And now writing is my favorite thing ever. I just love it.
I hate it. It is an exhausting effort to drag forth vivid imagery and dynamic characters and exciting action forth from the recesses of your mind and put it onto the page, and it is exhausting. And I have come to absolutely loathe writing.
Really?
But RJ, you are also, even though people know you primarily through Critical Blast, from your sterling reputation as the go-to fulfillment service for crowdfunded comics, you are also
less than sterling, but really good so far.
You are also a writer and an editor in your own right. In fact, you've edited several books that are available on Amazon. Tell me a little bit about your editing and your previous projects like Bully Pulpit, More Blood, The Devil You Know, and The Brothers Grimm, The Complete Illustrated Fairy Tales.
Well, the Bully Pulpit, along with Continental Divide and Monumental Terror, those are all three published by Destroyer Books. I wrote those featuring the Remo Williams action character. So if you're familiar with the Destroyer series of books, I got to play in that Sandbox franchise for a while. I went there after working for Telos on two novels. I did Alice's Journey Beyond the Moon, which is a children's story wrapped in an academic thesis about Lewis Carroll, and presented itself as the third Alice book that was never found, and actually fooled a journalist into thinking it was the real thing, and I disappointed him greatly. I wish it could have been. But when I went to editing over at Critical Blast Publishing, I figured anthologies were a lot of fun to do. So you said we talked last time about the devil you know. Let me see if I can get a non-glare version there, which was just going to be 20 short stories about people's encounters with the devil. And when I saw the cover come in from the designers, I'm like, don't lose that art, boys, because you're going to reuse that. And that is when we, you know what? It helps if I grab the right books. So many of them. I'm just, there we go. I said, you're going to reuse this cover, boys. So we did The Devil You Know Better. And then we just finished up this month with The Devil You Know Best. And The Devil You Know Best was so many submissions. Over 200 submissions came into that. We couldn't stop with 20. We had to go with 25 stories. So this one's a chunky boy. It's a big book. That was the follow-up to Gods and Services, which is stories about people who buy a trinket at a store, and it comes with a god, and the god says, okay, you've given me money, I'm going to make your life better, according to me. Prior to The Devil You Know, we did Monsters Next Door.
Monsters Next Door. I actually heard a lot of good things about Monsters Next Door.
This one was fun because we did something different with it. We gave every story its own comic book cover. So, you got the person's byline there, the name of this book, and then we gave it a little call to action like the old EC stuff. And then we just went into the story. And then this was just an attempt to see how quickly we could get something published. We went with public domain stuff, the Brothers Grimm, and we just had, we just filled it up with the artwork. My graphics team all pulled together and just said, okay, we'll take this story, we'll take that story, and there it is. Now we got a huge version of that, but nobody buys it except at conventions, because when you see $75 on Amazon, you're like, ouch. But when you see it at a convention, like, pretty.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's why you go to conventions, right? Mo Biggs says, "Oh man, I'm officially announcing the cancellation of yet another one of his series." In fact, it seems like every time Mo is here and we have a guest on, he has to cancel one of the new upcoming projects that he's already started working on. He says he's going to cancel the anthology "Danny, the Devil You Wish You Didn't Know." And
I like that title. I might steal it.
as those of us in the chat know, we are crack packing this chat, smoking crack day, no cowards. Bow, F Danny. And on that note,
Speaking of the chat,
let's say hello to everybody we've got in the chat right now. We got 38 viewers, and we're going to start it off. We've got Wayne Klingman saying this is going to be a party. Absolutely. We got 2 great guests at an early time. I haven't had a chance to get my drink on, so I don't know how crazy we're going to get on this party, but we're certainly going to have a good time. We also have the one and only Mo Biggs, and we've got Jeremy Ice and Fire 33. What is up, Lord Crackhead? Glad to see you. Bow to you as well. We've got Creators Outlet. That's Will. How you doing? We've also got Brian Batvitas in the house. Brian Batvitas with Aerith Saga. And we've got Tyler Draw and Talk. Now, that's the real Tyler, right? I'm aware that there's somebody on Twitter impersonating Tyler for some reason. I don't know why anyone would want to impersonate Draw and Talk, the silly goose himself. But I'm just making sure that this is the real one. Tyler says, Dave, are we getting more American Bliss one day? That's hilarious, because that's actually a question that I have in this interview. My good friend Michael Oden was the writer on that comic, and I know everybody's kind of clamoring for chapter 2 of that. So we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. We've also got the one and only Chauncey Blakey, AO Neffin chat. Chauncey says that he likes my shirt. Thank you very much. I am on a roll with these fire shirts lately. Indeed I am. We've got Dean from Comicsmate, Dean James, the artist on The Embrace and Lightbringer, also working on his own project behind the scenes. I'm excited to see that coming out soon. We've got Eric Grant. Hello, everybody. Hello to you too, Eric. Hello yourself. And I think that's, oh, no, we got Mr. Yonofui, the meme master, in the house, man. I don't know if you guys have seen Yonofui's videos, but those always crack me up. His latest, what is it? It's a parody of Gilligan's Isle. Or Gilligan's Island, where
Gilligan's Isle.
Well, I mean, here
The
on
fancy
Gilligan's,
version.
yeah, like, and it's Matt Barr fighting everybody. It's hilarious because Yonofui's been at this for forever, man. We've also got Pops in the house, Madness Comic Network. What is up, Pops?
No, Pops.
Welcome back. We've got Alejandro VS. Talk about guys that we haven't seen in forever. It's been a while. Hey guys, been a minute. Indeed it has. And we got Phil Russer. Neff. What is up, Phil? That's
Too.
yeah, Freak Girl is here. You just can't see her. Oh, there she is.
All right.
Get off.
All right.
Goodbye. Leave. Yeah, you're No, go.
I'm
Stop it.
Trying to.
Hey, what are you doing?
You're clicking buttons.
You're ruining it all. All right. Yeah, it's officially a global frequency stream because we are making complete fools of ourselves. So, RJ, I got a quick question. How is it different fulfilling like short story anthologies, which are nice, thick, as you mentioned before, chonky boys? How different is it to fulfill one of those than it is to fulfill a comic book, which, usually goes out in, say, a Gemini mailer?
It's easier because I don't have to fulfill it. Amazon fulfills it. Walmart fulfills it.
Oh, okay.
Barnes and
That's
Noble
a point.
fulfills it.
So where you don't have any of them stock in house, you have it, I guess, print on demand through Amazon or warehoused. How's that work?
It's through Ingram, so you could go to
through
any
Ingram
bookstore in
Okay,
America.
yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, as long as
So
you're in the
it's
Ingram
Barnes and
catalog,
Noble.
you're everywhere.
yeah, that's cool. Mr. Uniform says, Jesus, my ego went up for a minute. Well, now I'm glad it's back down. Man, no, Yonafui's a legend.
Movix also says justice for Freak Girl.
Yeah, justice for Freak
And
Girl.
the chat
yes.
stands with me. Just saying.
You're now
Don't
you're
ever forget.
you're inciting a riot on my show.
I am.
Our show. Socialist. Oh my god. Anyway, so I guess the obvious question here for everybody, because I don't know if it's been announced yet, is RJ, you're now publishing this artist edition book? Are you the publisher for Perfect 10? And
No.
how have you partnered up with Dave to become his publisher?
Dave, you want to tell this story?
Well, basically, RJ approached me because that is this concept about reproducing issue 1 in a special format, and they talked. They laid it out to me that basically they wanted to make the book with full bleed pages, so it's bigger, with the line art, with the layouts, with the script. So basically the entire process of the production of the first book completely laid out. And this is what they call the artist edition because it's dedicated to Pau's fantastic artwork. And we added a lot of extra material also. So we started out with 84 pages was the plan, and now it's like upgraded to 130 pages.
Yes. In color.
And color pages, yes, this is true.
So what size is that? Is that 11 by 17?
No, this is 8.5 by 11.
Okay, so it's a
It's not that
standard
big.
sized book, not like the big full size art pages.
Yeah, this
That would
is
be
as
nuts.
big as we can go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not
11 by
17.
17 would be custom size, right?
Yeah, it's hard to find a
The only
printer.
printer that would do that would be Mixum, right?
No, Mixum
No,
doesn't
Mixum
go
doesn't
that
even do
high.
that. Okay,
No. They don't even do 9x12.
right. But they do the hardcover graphic novels, right?
Yes.
Because we actually priced around for a hardcover graphic novel and a hardcover artist's edition of a graphic novel. Great idea. Looks fantastic, says Alejandro VS. Well, I mean, I agree. I gotta say, I love the idea of sort of a side-by-side script with thumbnails and layouts
And that's what you got.
and arts and roughs. I think that's
That's the
fantastic.
Now, this is a prototype edition. This doesn't, I mean, Dave's like, I just sent you the forward. How do you have the book? When I showed it to him, I was like, well, because it's a prototype. But you have the script here. You'll have comments about the page here. You got the pencils here. You got the finished ink with lettering here. And then here you go, blow up. No lettering, no sound effects. This is just the full art with the style guides around the page. And then when you finish the whole book this way, we just do the book again, this time with the lettering and with the sound effects on it. Still the full bleed, but now per Dave, this would be a color page, and then this would be a black and white page, and then this would be the same page in color. So you're going to get color all throughout. So we said, well, if we're going to do color all throughout, why don't we color code the pre stuff on the left side of the page? Let's make the text one color, let's make the pencils another color, so that you've got eye-catching color throughout the whole thing before the black and white pages.
I mean, that's dope. Dean and Mo both want a colorist's edition, so no line work, no nothing,
That's a good
just the
plan.
colors.
Just
Yes,
flats.
Yes. Well, I mean, you could do just flats, the Flatters edition. That would certainly go over well with probably the most underappreciated member of the art team, the Flatter.
Well, that's the letterer.
Well, no, I don't know. I think the letterer really gets. Maybe they don't get as appreciated as say the artist or writer. That's certainly true, but they do get a credit. And sometimes the colorer usually does. The Flatter never gets credited. They are the unsung hero to the colorist. They just kind of sit in the back room and they get paid like a very basic rate to do all of the hard work. What's up?
Nobody flatters the flatter.
Justice for Freak Girl. Yes. Amanda B, welcome. Glad to have you in the stream. She says, tell you keep popping in. Get out.
Like Genie.
Get out of my interview. Okay. So, Dave, working with RJ, you were previously published by Antarctic Press, right? So you're no stranger to working with a publisher. What's your agreement with RJ like, and how is that different than what you've been doing as a self-publisher?
Don't violate the NDA. I'm kidding. We don't have one.
No. RJ, you were smart. I know you were smart. You NDA'd the NDA, right? You had to NDA
right.
the NDA.
Can't even tell you that there is one. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, for Antarctic Press, that was basically a one-time thing. I made something specifically for them. So basically, they hired me to make something, and it could be whatever. It had to be. It had to do with genuine comics. So in some way, they published something from genuine comics, but it was. So it's not really the same thing. I did have a publisher before that, and that was a disaster. They basically controlled everything from crowdfunding, or they also went through crowdfunding, and they were they made a lot of promises, and eventually it only cost me like money, time, frustration. So I decided,
like the standard currency
yeah.
for indie
So
comics, right?
Yeah.
I
Blood,
decided
sweat, tears.
to go full indie, do it all myself, and so the Arctic Press bit was on the side, and what RJ offered me was something completely different, because I'm still publishing my own things, so this is something extra. So the art book goes through a Critical Blast, and it won't cost me anything. So this was the first time that I had a crowdfunding project that doesn't cost me anything. Because we have the material, right? So it got repurposed, and so basically the deal was that after the campaign phase,
Speak
people.
freely.
Sorry, yeah,
Go
people.
ahead, speak freely. Yeah.
Sure, you sure?
Yes.
Always,
Yes.
always. If you don't speak freely, I'm going to drag it out of you anyway. That's what I do.
No, it's not. It's not that. Look, it's not a secret. We want to bring this to people through other means, right? So through Amazon, through stores, and then a Critical Blast gets their cut. We get part of it, and but something on the side, right? So I'll be still publishing my own things. These are two
So
separate.
RJ isn't your full publisher.
No.
for
Don't lose
Perfect
the
10.
imprint.
So he's publishing or producing with you this artist's edition. He isn't joining Genuine Comics or bringing Genuine Comics under Critical Blast. Critical Blast is something entirely separate from this. I mean, I mainly ask because we recently saw something emerge into the indie sphere. It's called Ripascend. And they're apparently doing this thing where they provide, oh, look at my man. Look, there's the giggles.
What?
Yeah.
What? Hey, look.
We saw
never-
young Ripa emerge into the industry with this new I guess offering that he's got, which is fulfillment and publishing assistance, maybe even marketing. We're still not quite sure what he's offering for indie creators or how that's all going to work. And then I hear that the number one name in indie fulfillment is publishing Dave Brink's book, and I go,
It was a
is this
gaping hole in the industry. We've only been filling the hole for 4 years. It was a gaping hole.
What?
Said another stream
Where we're talking about filling gaping holes. Yeah. But I mean, this is just you and Dave partnering up to do this artist edition, right? Or does Critical Blast have some sort of aspiration? Oh, there's the Melvin. Does Critical Blast have some sort of aspiration to move into the publishing domain? And there's Joe King, and that looks like I can't tell what all of those are. Stuff and nonsense. Are these all things that you've published, RJ?
Yes, and we're publishing them in standard comic book size, like Melvin, and we're publishing them in
small, Ashcan
manga size, and we're publishing them in pocketbook size. So, we've got multiple sizes here, and of course the hardcover is even bigger than this. We're doing stuff. And we're not done. I mean, what was announced last night on the show, I didn't announce it. The artist announced it. I was keeping it a secret. We're going to be doing work with Bill Mouse on reproducing artist editions and source books for Nera X. And
Woo,
we've got a
Bill
couple of
knows.
other artists. Yeah, we've got a
That's
couple of
cool.
other creators too that you might have mentioned earlier in this same stream that we're going to be doing some work with. So
Woohoo.
I did. Who would those be? Let's say hello real quick to some of the people that snuck in the back door while we were talking about filling gaping holes. That's Sisrestpix. Yeah, okay, that wasn't a bad attempt, but at least the attempt was made. As I mentioned, we have Amanda B. We got Gooch from Diabolical Souls. Glad to have you with us. What up, Jay?
Did you say
Indeed.
hi to Dean?
Yes, I said hi to Dean earlier. Brian does say Ripicen seems like it'll be overpriced and those costs will get pushed off onto the customer. I don't know. How do you feel? I've been looking at Ripa's business model, and not to begrudge him what it is he's doing, but I mean, his shipping costs are a bit high. And as a fulfillment service, I would imagine that he's going to be charging the same amount to fulfill other people's books as he would his, to just kind of establish a baseline amount, like an industry standard, so to speak, for fulfillment services. Do you feel that he's overcharging? How do you take what's your take?
My official take on everything, gaping holes aside, my official take is competition in the industry is a good thing. I don't know his prices. I have come flat out and told everybody my prices, very transparent, including, what my charges. Where's my money come into this? It's right there on the invoice. I show you. Here's the Scotch tape cost on your package. Here's the label on your package, the Gemini, the poly bag, any other packing material that goes into it, and $2.25 handling right now at the going rates. That's RJ's money for doing it all, which includes putting your books into the bag, sealing the bags up, running the data. Running the data is really the strength of our industry because I'm a data scientist by day. That's my title at my day job. So I wrote the software that handles our packaging, and it condenses everything so where it just runs very quickly. And it's such that I've had people that I haven't fulfilled for, but they wanted my pack list. So they gave me their data, and I have a consulting business on the side where it's like, yeah, I'll just make your pack list for a flat $100 fee, which is what we've done for Florida Man. It's what we did for Cord Draft. And, we'll do it for anybody else who, likes taping boxes together, but wants to do it more quickly.
What's the pack list?
The pack list is the spreadsheet that says, hey, you've got a package here called A7. It has the comic book, the trading card, and maybe 2 bookmarks and a keychain. Like, okay, well,
and
I need to make 25
to
packages that have this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need to make those packages, number them. A7 goes to whatever the backer number is so that you're
right.
not.
And I say A7 because I group them blindly. There's no intelligence to that grouping number.
Right.
But it shows up on the label. So when you print all the labels and you don't make a package, print a label, stick it on, make a package, print a label, stick it on. You make the packages. Then you print all the labels at one time and you peel, stick, peel, stick, peel, stick. This one's an A7. This one's an A5. And you just do them all. And then,
right. So, the specific orders for the tier. If you're not doing additional add-ons or anything for like custom orders, if you're just doing tiers, then that would be like that tier, how many of those you have, which ones are going to which people.
I am tier agnostic. I don't look at the tier at all. I look at the items because somebody could back a tier and then back another tier and then throw in some add-ons. Well, I consolidate that all down to one shipping address. And then I sort by the item. So you may have ordered a comic book and added on a comic book. Somebody else may have said, give me 2 comic books as a tier. You'll both be treated the same with the same grouping name.
I have a question though. What happens then with the extra shipping that they paid?
It's probably combined shipping, right?
Oh.
So like if they backed 3 different tiers 3 different times, right?
Right. You would take that order. I mean, you'd have to
shipping
know who
saying.
it was that backed, right? Right. You'd have to know who it was anyway, which is like you said, you take the intelligence out of it, but you'd still have to know which backer it was that ordered 3 different things in order to consolidate it into one package. Otherwise, you're sending 3 packages.
I consolidate it by the name and address, so I do see the name and address.
So you do see the name and address.
Figure into my printing, but
which would be but like. Then if you're the one doing the fulfillment, that would make sense because Florida Man sends you all the Florida Man stuff and you handle the fulfillment. But if you're just doing the packing list, you're still accessing all of the customer data, right? Because like you have to.
And I just send it
collate
back to them. I'm like, here, you put it together, and here's the orders. And because people can print labels, it's not a hard thing to do. But I think what Frequency Girl's asking is, if you back 3 times, you paid $10 shipping each time. You've technically paid $30 shipping. What happens to the extra shipping? I don't know. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I invoice the creator for the shipping, and they pay me. So
the creator charges the customer whatever the creator is going to charge for shipping, then sends you the stuff and you invoice them for your services and what it costs. So
and they pay me out of the shipping.
Even though you priced your list and you're transparent with it, you could in theory invoice a different cost to the creator.
I could, and sometimes
than the $10 that they charge for shipping.
Well, what we do is we meet up before they even launch, and we know what their tiers are going to cost to ship. So we set it for that, plus a buffer to handle things like returns and damages, and things happen. But
rounding up from like $7.75 to like the standard $10 price point.
Exactly. But I've had people who've said, I've seen them in the middle of their campaign, like, if we hit this stretch goal, solid metal covers for everybody. I'm like, oh, there goes the weight.
That's going to throw off your shipping costs if you're doing by weight. Possibly. I mean, like the metal doesn't add all that much weight to it.
20 pounds.
And you can go up to 20 pounds flat rate for what, $6?
But for ground.
Yeah, for ground. For $6 and something cents. I keep asking you. I don't remember.
$6.33 up to 20 pounds for ground shipping.
Right. And that's if
mailer dimension.
But that's also if it's not media. Media's $4 and something. But that means you can't put ads in the book. You can't send cards. You can't send stickers and bookmarks and all that other stuff. All of that.
And I've had people, where we price them at media, and then they throw an action figure, and I'm like, can't do that now.
Right. Yeah. You can't do it as media. That's an additional $2 that you're going to have to spend in order to send out that package, which I mean, does change things if you're offering $2.18
for the largest distance,
which does change things if you're sending out your packages at like say $5, but $10 is kind of a catch-all. I mean, it catches everything. You can charge your materials are like, we priced out ours. It's about $1.30 of all the materials that we use when we send stuff out. And so if you're charging the ground shipping at $6 and what, I can never remember this number.
$6.33.
33 cents. And you
for zone 9.
Yeah, for zone 9, which is the farthest distance, one point in the US to the other point in the US. Up to 20 pounds at a standard dimension. That's $6.33, and then you add on the cost of the materials. And I know that you're adding a handling fee, but that should all fall within the dimensions of that $10 charge, whether it's media mailer or not, right?
Yeah, usually any package under a pound, the entire packaging, including my fee,
that's media,
about $7 in high change.
With the handling fee added in, right?
Yeah, with the handling and postage and all the cost of the material. Because
I don't. And then the creator charges $10 for shipping, and that extra $3, I guess, goes to them.
Yes,
right.
Doesn't go to me.
They make $3 on sending the thing. You make your handling fee, and then the postage is paid for, and whatever materials, however you're breaking that down. That's
but there's other shipping charges involved. I mean, other than my shipping, Dave, you've got to pay shipping charges to get the books to me.
Yes.
Right. But why does the customer pay your shipping? Like when I order my books and the books come to me, I put the shipping cost into the price of the book to be made. Like if I make my books for $1.60, right? And if I order 2,000 of them and the shipping coming to me is ridiculously, unimaginably $2,000 to get it sent to me, that ups the production price from $1.60 to $2.60. And if I'm selling it for $25, I'm not, because obviously my $1.60 books are standard sized comic books, not the big ones. I sell those for what, like $5.99. But still, like that shipping cost for it to come to me is factored into the cost of making the book. And instead of it going to Dave and Dave sending it to you, it's just going straight to you, right? From the printer.
A lot of times they do go straight to me. Dave's in a special situation where he's got to.
So then I don't understand why that cost would be pushed off onto the customer if everybody else who's fulfilling absorbs that cost into the cost of the book.
It's just an accounting practice. If you want to know what it cost you to ship that book, then that book started at the point of origin at the printer, and if it goes directly to me, then it's like almost 20 cents per unit when you divide it into the number of books. Slightly
Right,
more
depending
if you have-
upon the order. Like
Yeah.
our delivery fee, and we print locally now, so we don't actually pay any delivery. We go and pick it up. If we really wanted to be nickel and diming the customers, we could charge them for the gas that it takes us to go there.
No,
and
you give that to the IRS.
and our per hour handling fee, loading the boxes into our trunk and then unloading them at our fulfillment center, which is our 3-car garage.
Sometimes the receiving
right?
fee does happen. When I get stuff like Fiendish too, or when I get stuff like The Exiled, I have to hire a forklift driver to take it off the truck and put it in the warehouse. That's a receiving fee. That's that's not something that's calculated into the shipping, and I don't even charge that back. I just eat that expense and then deduct it.
Do you remember what we did when we got our pallets from China? We didn't have a forklift.
No, we had to rent a van and drive down.
Right. So we rented a van and drove down and pick it up, but we brought it here. He's saying when it arrives at his warehouse, he has to hire a forklift driver to, bring it from. Yeah. What did we do? We
Who's
just
on site?
cut it open and move the boxes one at a time, right? Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
Right. I know. Like
last time we did that,
are we the same age? Do we have the same old ass joints? Because I'm in my mid 40s. I'm not a spry, young man.
56.
I'm not hiring workers. I'm not hiring workers to do it for me. Let's. What up, Phil? We got Phil in the house. We also had George sneak in earlier. Phil says, "Hey." Yeah, I'm clicking on what George is saying. He says the line of talk doesn't account for exotic location, overseas, etc. So the $3 is used up in various ways.
Right,
I have no idea what he means.
Shipping for overseas. We're just talking about domestic shipping.
Yeah, if we're talking about the international shipping, most people way overcharge for that anyway. So we're not even going to go into the international stuff. Bancroft would never charge Rod a receiving fee. No, he would never charge a receiving fee to receive Rod, Mo, right? He says Neff has the pallets carried home in a sleigh pulled by baby goats, if only, man. You know what? That's going to be my fulfillment operation. I'm going to get a team of baby goats, and I'm going to make the customers pay for my baby goats.
Do I got to rage about $10 shipping again?
Yes.
In some places, it's as high as 12 or 15.
Yes. I think Fiendish 2.5. Are you fulfilling Fiendish 2.5, RJ? Yeah, it's a $15 book with $12 shipping fees, which kind of like blew my mind because fulfilling this hardcover 132 page book is also $12. So I don't understand like the difference here. One goes media mail, right? The Fiendish would obviously go media mail, and this hardcover 132 pages can't get put in a Gemini like Fiendish could, but it's also $12. So like there's just a lot of things that make me question what people's practices are. Now with Ripa Send coming out and him charging $15, it seems like shipping costs are just exploding, and it kind of makes me wonder where all this is heading. But we're getting way off the topic. Let me get back to our interview, right? We got Dave Brink sitting here going, I thought this was about Perfect.
It was about him.
Well, it's about you too, because you're involved in the production of it and then involved in the fulfillment of it. And it's all, all of it together, right? So, Dave, you just wrapped up a campaign for Perfect 10 issue 4 on Indiegogo, right? Yeah, how are the numbers?
It's live right now, I think.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
4 or 3 more hours, and then it ends.
It's in the description, but I will also put it in the chat.
Yeah, so it's 3 more hours, and then it closes.
Putting the fee in Fiendish. I'm sorry, that was really good. Yeah, that was actually really good, Mo, as always, right? So how are the numbers on this most recent campaign compared to the earlier books in the series? And what are you seeing as kind of like the trend line in crowdfunding?
So issue 3 was the best-selling book so far.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
18K, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
18.5 actually. 18.5 with 302 backers. That's perfect, man. That's exactly what you want.
With this one, we're also on around 15K, because it also was on Kickstarter. It also was on Fund My Comic for the special cover. And
it was on Indiegogo.
Yeah. So it's doing pretty good. I've no complaints whatsoever. I'm very pleased. We're hoping to get back to the trajectory with the next book.
Well, I mean, you've just gone up. Originally, you had what, 8.5K off Perfect 10 #1. And that
Yeah.
grew to like 11 something, and then 18, and then
Exactly.
just on Indiegogo you were at 11, but you also ran it in 2 other sites, which
Yes.
brought it up to around 15. And
Around
you've been
50.
looking at like 280 backers, 300 backers, and even just alone on Indiegogo you had almost 200 backers. He says, will there be a Perfect 10 omnibus or graphic novel for people who are new to it? I'm sure there's going to be. I mean, it's already, the art already exists. It's just printing it in another format, almost like what they're doing with this art book.
Oh yeah.
Right? Right? You'll throw some extra material in there to incentivize people who've purchased the issues. You'll incentivize them to get the graphic novel by adding some behind the scenes stuff. And I mean, that's the smart way to do it, right? Obviously, you should do an omnibus. When do you think that'll happen, though? Like, when's the arc of Perfect 10 complete?
I think we will need 2 more years to complete everything. So the entire book the entire arc will be 6 issues. So we're now working on issue 5. Pau finished page 1 today, so it's officially started. And then we try to work as fast as possible, but we've learned that it will take around 8 months to finish 1 issue. It's ridiculous, but that's the situation. So, and then after issue 6, we need some time to set up the collected edition. So at least 2 years from now.
2 years. So, all right. I mean, 2 issues in 2 years. You've been doing Perfect 10 for a while, right? You're 4 issues in. When did you start working on Perfect
10? 4 years ago.
So it is an issue a year.
Yeah, almost
about 8
issue
months. A year. I mean, it is tough to get production quicker than that, especially if you're not, full time in comics, right? Mm-hmm. We have got Grey Wolf Graphics, Mr. W.D. Smith. Welcome to the chat. We've got Corey Barton. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We've got Josh, Raiden Radio. My God, this stream assembled hipster hats like they're Infinity Stones. Yeah, we've got a fedora, a newsy cap, and like my Fidel Castro knockoff. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. It's Neff's hipster hat, right?
It's like, Neff's version of hipster.
Right. It's like the wannabe Che Guevara military thing. I don't know. It's square rather than round because my head looks really small when you put a round. And we all know I have to look like I have a big head because I have such a big head, right?
Ego.
What's that?
Ego.
Well, I mean, same thing.
You gotta have room to keep all that brain comfortable.
Right. Why don't we bring up the campaign and take a look at it? Because honestly, this book.
Would you like to look at?
Well, let's look at the art book because that's why we're here. If you want, Dave, do you want to look at Perfect 10 number 4, seeing as how there's still a little bit of time for people to back it?
Yeah.
And just go through that real quick?
It will be great.
Right, pop up number 4 then and have the art book on deck because I think seeing the interior pages that RJ put up really does kind of change the perception of what the art book is on Fund My Comic. Because when I read it and I saw the cover and I was like, yeah, okay, sure, it's an art book. I don't know if it's oversized. I don't really know what it is. But then seeing the pages that RJ just showed, I think is a little bit nudging me more likely to, get in on that because the presentation is really great. RJ, did you do the page layouts? Did you, as the editor, design the pages?
No, I did not. I am not an artist, so I don't worry about layouts. I look at text. I'm,
right. But I mean, like, did you put the script where it is and then the layouts and then the...
No, we have a design team that does that.
Got it. Okay. So we're looking at Perfect 10 issue number 4 right now. Do you want to give us the pitch real quick, Dave, and then take us through some of the tiers?
Sure. So the basic premise is about a artificial assassin who gets hunted down by supervillains and has to fight for her life, right? And the entire story takes place in one day. So it's very action-packed. She wakes up, she doesn't know what's going on, and the action starts, and it doesn't let up. and we have one big like bad guy or bad chick. That's the woman you're looking at right now. And in issue 4, she visits the headquarters of the heroes, and so you find out what she wants, right? So, and she's very powerful. So it's really cool stuff. And so if you like superhero stuff, and you like colorful art and sexy babes and awesome superpowers, then this is definitely a series for you. This is a series that I love to produce. I love to make this, and I'm so proud of this. We even managed to get people like Mike Bowden to do the back cover, for instance, and Paul Rodriguez and Daniel Rodriguez both have been the artists on this book since issue 1. So it's very consistent with all the art. It has a shitload of characters. Each issue introduces new characters.
I have to say that's, I think, my favorite thing about Genuine Comics is the volume of characters that you put out, but also how interesting, unique, and distinct those characters are. I remember talking to you about your supervillains and how you just every time introduce awesome new villains where I look at them, I'm like, how did he come up with this? Where did he come from? I can look at this character and their powers and their name and know everything that I need to know. And then with the personality on top and the narrative voice that you just inject into them so effortlessly, they really become well-rounded, and you introduce them in 3 panels. You know, I think that's an incredible strength of yours. What do you have to say?
Chauncey Blakey says looks great. It's a 10,
10
out of 10.
yeah.
One might even say
Thank
it's
you.
a perfect 10.
Yeah, Mo made
But
that
I'm
joke
wrong.
already.
Oh, shut
Yeah.
up.
And I think that Chauncey asked about the page count. So each
Yeah.
book is 32 pages, interiors. The
It's a
first
good
issue
size.
was 24 pages story, and the rest was like a pinup section. So we add extra material from different artists. But the last 2 issues have been story material from cover to cover, because we have so much to tell. So it's a complete 32 pages sequential art, and we will continue this for the next 2 issues also. With this campaign, you get a free art book. So this is also 32 pages. It has a collection of material that is either old and was never published, or meant as print and
Wait a
never
minute.
produced.
Wait. Oh, hold on a second. Just hold on.
Okay.
This campaign comes with a free art book,
Yeah.
and then you're crowdfunding an art book on a different campaign. Dave,
It's a
is
comic book.
this legitimate? Wait, you're giving one away on this campaign. How can you be funding one at the same time? I don't know if I buy it. It's not like
It's a
this one's
pinup book.
132 pages and hardcover, right? This one's just 36 unpublished material or older material that you aren't
Yes.
going to see.
Plus
ever,
new
which is
material
awesome.
that we made specifically for this book.
Oh,
So-
dang, dude. That's a dope deal, right? A 32 page sequential, 32 sequential art pages, and then a 32 page art book with new material specifically for the book. What's that?
For $16. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a really good
And
good
the
deal.
trading
$8 a book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$8
plus
a book.
trading
Yeah,
cards. Yeah, because
plus trading cards. You know,
because we started with like stretch goals and extra prints, but then I was like, do people actually want prints? I have a stack of prints, and I don't really know what to do with it. So then I kind of decided to put the prints together, and so from that came this book. So instead of the prints, people will get this full art book for free.
that's smart. That's one of the things that people have been suggesting we do with so many of the prints on the first campaign. They were like, "Are you gonna give those prints, away? Is there a way to order them?" I was like, "We'll just do
I'm sorry,
an
Mo.
art book, because that's what people are saying. They just want all the art in one place." Mo says, "Yeah, it's a great deal, except for the part where that ruined my joke, rude Dave, because he was calling you double dipping Dave." And then it was like, but wait a minute, it's a super fantastic deal. 64 effective pages of story for $12. Well, 64 pages of art and story for $12. $16, $12. I don't remember. And this is so small I can't
Yeah,
even
with
see.
cool art by Corey
16.
Barton also, for instance. And Russ Leach made some artwork for this book.
Great artists on board.
Yeah,
you
cool.
know.
I'm gonna switch
And
over to
and
the-
Pow, of course. I
I'm gonna
love
switch
And
Pow.
Pow, yeah.
to
What's that?
The other. I'm going to switch over to the other campaign now.
Okay, that's good. This year is still all like full of fluid.
Thank
or
you.
whatever.
Thank you
We
for
got
showing this. So
Dave
you
Dave,
can back this, guys, for the
yammering
next
in this year.
few
What's that?
hours. People
All right,
can still
I mean,
back it
hey,
for the next few
Yeah,
hours.
so 11:59 Pacific time.
Are you going to do any sort of closeout special or anything like that? Are you going to go on a stream? Are you going to try and
I kinda
do a
should, right?
countdown?
I kind of should, but
Yeah.
it was difficult for me
You
to
should-
find out.
You should, and you should do like a last hour special, or
Right.
or a last day or half day special. You should announce, like a since it's on. Is this one? No, the other one's on Indiegogo, right? You
Yeah.
could do a secret tier. You could.
Right.
That's the one
okay.
thing that I like about Indiegogo that I wish was on Kickstarter. Is doing a secret tier. I mean, hell, you could do it on here too. You just use a discount code, right?
Yes.
Okay, so looking at the campaign, this is not an oversized book. I was under the impression that it would be, being an artist edition, but I think the fact that it's a standard sized comic makes it more
8.5
accessible.
by 11.
What?
It's 8.5 by 11.
That's standard size. I thought it was oversized. being an artist
6 by
edition.
10 is standard size.
Oh,
Here's
so
a
this
standard
is
size
this is
version.
large. It's just
Yeah,
not
it's like
11
A4.
by 17. So it's an A4 size. So it's print size. Okay, that's cool. All right. So it's in between the two. What does it look like to ship this, RJ, compared to like sending out a standard comic book?
It,
I mean, it's heavier than half a pound, right? Yeah. Hold on.
Slightly,
Let me make it
slightly
big.
heavier than half. Well, you understand now. This is only 80 pages. This was back before Dave changed all the rules on me. So I don't
Added
have
another
130
50 pages. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you want to do what? By the way, he did this after the campaign was up and running, and he had prices on the book. Like, really? You're going to? So he took money out of his own pocket.
I just put you in a hot seat for a second. Just a second. Dave.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I mean, that
No,
is a really
I just want,
it's too.
want people to get the most for their money, right?
That's what I was gonna say. It's twofold. And on the one hand, it's gonna drive someone like you crazy, especially being the publisher, where you have to make this thing a reality. And at the same time, it's gonna give the backers and the customers a huge incentive to want to get in on the art book.
It's actually, what would you say, Dave? About 98% done. Is there anything left to do on it?
Few little things, and then we have to like check it.
Yeah, go over it with a fine tooth
that's it.
comb. Make
Yeah.
sure it's all good.
Exactly. It's mostly done.
But it's largely done.
Yeah, with the previous art being in existence, and with the I guess the book design team that you have having already kind of formatted the pages, and like you said, you
And then
already
there's
having a proof.
dealing with adding new text. Then at the end of it, we're throwing in all these pinups that Dave just had.
It's a
laying
coloring book.
Oh, don't get me started on the coloring book, Dave. Don't. We talked about this, Dave.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, the Perfect 10 coloring book might be in the future.
I would.
We've
I
got
would
some
definitely
coloring
like to
books
see
in our
that.
catalog already.
Yeah. RJ had to convince me that there was this market for coloring books. So I wasn't really.
I mean, yeah,
was
yes
really
and
aware.
no. Yes and no. Some people will say there is. Some people will say there isn't. Depends upon how
People who like
successful your
color will say there
crowdfunding
is.
campaign for it was.
Mm-mm.
So
Well,
speaking of,
that's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
That's
go ahead.
the thing about these books is like go attack the markets. It's there. If the market's not there, and you put the book out, you've not lost anything.
True.
You haven't bought 1,000 copies of something. You're like, nobody's buying this.
well, on that note, we have 18 backers on this campaign, right? How many editions of this artist book are you looking at printing? How many units?
At this moment, 18.
Oh, snap. So it is going to be a limited print, like limited to the number of backers.
I mean, Dave's probably going to want a few extra ones for conventions and his own
Sure.
self. And
Not
Yeah,
many.
but you're not going to print
at
like
the end, Dave's going to tell me
500.
how many to get.
Oh, okay. So Dave, here we go. How many are you going to print?
I know. I think I would like I don't know, maybe 20 for me. That's it. I don't
20
know.
for you and 20
And
for the backers. So you could probably round it up because we like rounding up. You could round it to a nice 50, right? And then have like 10 to send your family and friends for Christmas.
Hey, it went down. What the hell?
It went down. How's this possible? What?
That's not you had 18 backers earlier. I did the math.
I know. I did too. I saw it.
I did the math because I was like, he's got $2,180 something dollars.
It's still on my screen over here. It was 2211.
Yeah, 2211, and I did the math. I was like, he's got the average backer is putting in $100 on this book, but that's mainly because regular backers are buying the $45 one or the $85 one that's signed by Pow. And I will ask you about that in a second. But then there are the
bump.
What's that? Oh, the bump. The bump is negative.
Yeah, the negative bump, the global frequency bump.
It's a dip.
It's the bump. The bump goes backwards. The bump goes down.
Dip.
I hope nobody refunded after hearing Dictator Dave rolls his campaign with an iron fist. RJ's collateral damage. Yeah, final hour countdown. Perfect 10 procrastinators edition. But yeah, so I was saying like it looks like a lot of people are either picking up the Pal Roderick's commission tier. The original art went, which is always nice to see, which is like a $300 tier. But you still got a lot of people backing the basic edition and the nameplate edition. So how does the nameplate work? You're sending or I should say the book plate work. You send those to Pow in the mail, and he signs them and sends them back, and then you stick them in the book, right?
That's almost how it works. What we do is we send them to Pow in the mail, and then the Brazilian post office holds them hostage until he can come up with a reason why they should give him the package.
So that's why the signature is $40 extra, because you have to bribe the Brazilian post office to let him have the. I get it now. I get it. All right.
They're like, "Can you provide a receipt for this?" I'm like, "It's a stack of paper."
Yeah.
How big are they? How big are the book plates?
4x6.
4x6. Okay, that's actually a reasonable size. I was like imagining they were like the size of a name tag, just like a signature. And you put it in there, and it's got like a cool border or something like "Hello, my name is." But hello, this book is.
So that's okay.
What's that?
Neff doesn't know what a book plate is.
No, I have no idea what a book plate is. You say book plate, and I think you eat off of it.
Yeah, it's a 4x6 sticker basically, but it is printed in advance, and it's got some Perfect 10 artwork on it. And it has a place.
But he signs it. Yeah, it's not like you're printing out his signature. He's actually signing it, right? So he could draw like a little smiley face on it or something by request.
That would have been a lot easier, Dave. We should have done that. Just had him sign
it.
Yeah, just printed it. Yeah, just scanned it in like an e-sign document and just generated it that way. Mo says, pick up the Perfect 10 Artist Edition and let Mr. Reggie refund. No, his attempt to sink this campaign will not win. And then he gives the link, which is great because Mo never gives the link, so he must really like this book.
It still
or he's protecting the frequency bump. He's protecting.
Still says 80 backers where I am, so I think we're good.
So it's just our thing that's wrong, is what you're saying.
Maybe I haven't.
No, you must refresh it.
Maybe I haven't refreshed it.
Refresh. Maybe they did. Maybe they got an 18th backer, and we can take credit for that, even though it was at 18 before they came on the show.
Disappeared when I refreshed it.
Good job.
18 backers.
Hey, look at that. See, great.
So it is not a negative slump. We're still good. There's 18 backers.
I was actually kind of like proud of that because it would be the only show where like you lose backers, which is kind of cool, and it just being unique.
Well, Big says, I don't want to see the frequency bump turn into the global depression.
We're heading in that direction though, right? All right. So let me ask, why crowdfunding then? RJ, you put out plenty of books, right? And through Ingram, they do the printing, they take care of it. Barnes and Nobles is kind of, the guy that, or I should say the company that takes care of the production side of things. Dave, you crowdfund you do crowdfund every Perfect 10. Why crowdfunding rather than taking a more traditional publishing route, which is when you're ordering a number of units and then moving those individually through either pre-orders or distribution? Why crowdfunding?
I I think for me, it's just the most easy, hassle-free thing. I'm not really this good with business things. That's the truth, right? So, but crowdfunding, I can do that, right? So that's basically it. But if RJ wants to help me with
Where's our tissue?
those other things, that would be great.
Do you want me to share what you put in the?
Yeah. When it fits into the flow. When it fits into the flow.
I
Kenny,
can't
Jeff.
see
What
what it is.
flow?
So
What flow?
I can't tell what it is. So
The
I'm
private
gonna edit
chat?
now.
I don't see anything in the private chat.
This is the very first page of the print file.
Oh, cool. That's I like that graphic, man. That's really cool. That takes it from the color to the line art, and yeah, that's neat.
So this is where you see that we've got color throughout the thing now, the perfect 10 color palette. And there's the
Go back
actual
one.
cover
Go
of the
back one.
book.
Go back
Sorry,
one.
yeah.
Go back one.
My mouse, it scrolls, but it doesn't always make
Go
this.
back one. One more.
One more.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Who's that character right there on the right?
That's Earthling with Love Child.
Earthling. Yeah, I have that book. I bought the Genuine Comics library. I think the first campaign that you did. I bought like all of your back issues, and then you did Crossworlds on the second.
This was the
campaign.
first. It was the first pin-up that Pow ever drew for me. It's really cool. I was so happy back then that I could get Pow to draw this pin-up. I never knew what was going to happen later on. Right? This was the highlight back then.
I like the heart-shaped Power Girl window.
Yep. Yeah. What's not to like, right? Like Mike from GDN says. Where did it go?
Right here.
What's not to like? Curves and back that ass. Back that book, guys. Back that book. I mean, you get all of the really cool looking art, all of the stuff from the past issues, stuff that you've never seen, plus Dave's script. Honestly, for me, it might be enough of a reason to get the book just to see Dave's script, to see how he writes his stuff, because, you know, a lot of people have their own format and, you know, write their own way. Speaking of writing your own way, I told you I would ask it earlier, and I'm going to ask it now. With this art book going out, it's almost like you're bringing, you know, the art of Perfect 10 to the forefront of people's minds, right, as you proceed with investing in Perfect 10 as your primary series, it seems, because, you know, we haven't seen any more Earthling. What about American Bliss? Is there any more American Bliss on the horizon?
Yeah, it's supposed to be five issues, and I'm still waiting for the script for the second book. And once we have that, then we can proceed with the rest of production.
I know what waiting on Odin's scripts is like, man. It's like you're sitting there with anticipation, wondering how much you need to edit. Darkside says, just look at the first genuine art book alone.
Wow,
Huge.
you're really far back in the comments.
Oh yeah, I am right. Did you already put that up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know where I looked
Yeah,
up.
I don't know why I'm that far back then. I thought that was new.
But,
all right, so then why?
Odin scripts are always worth the wait. So
Yeah, honestly, I got to say he did a really great job with the first book. I think that he nailed the introduction, the characters. We all we all loathe her boyfriend, which is kind of the intent, right? Like we want him to be the guy that we as the reader want out of the picture, so she can be single and date us, right? Like that's the hope. That's, I mean, you haven't read the book, have
No, I
you?
haven't.
That's what I thought.
I'm a big superhero.
I know you're not a big superhero fan. You like other comic books, like fantasy, and you really love horror. I don't know why you like horror so much. You're you're the biggest scaredy cat in real life. So why, I mean, we were talking about crowdfunding before I got on the tangent, right? And you were saying that it's simple and it's straightforward and easy way for you to conduct business. And RJ was going to help you with crowdfunding and then fulfillment. I don't know if you ever got to answer that question, but I want to ask, why fund my comic for the art book? Are you going to run it anywhere else?
yeah, we've been talking about it. I wanted to see how it would do on Fun to My Comic, and I think the result is so that I think we should give it a go on other platforms. So I'll be setting that up soon. But then you will miss the opportunity to fill in a code, a discount code, right? So when you back through Fund My Comic, you can at the checkout you can fill in this voucher code perfect 10 and get 10% discount, and you won't get that through the other platforms.
Right, and also the platform
and why
fee.
crowdfund? I can tell you why Dave crowdfunds it, because Dave, it's the same reason Dave is on Fund My Comic right now. Dave literally loves the indie community and lives to serve and help it. That sounds like aggrandizement. It's not, because what's going to happen after these, the reason it's on these crowdfunders is so that you, the fans, can get it cheap. Because after the crowdfund, it's not going to die, but it's going to be a heck of a lot more expensive in the retail market.
Where are you going to retail it?
Everywhere.
So you're going to retail it through comic book shops in the U.S. You're going to retail
it will be.
Spark.
Yeah, it's an Ingram publication. So everyone who has the Ingram catalog, which is every brick and mortar bookstore in the world.
Oh, you're talking about this, not the Perfect 10 issues.
No, not the Perfect 10 issues. I'm talking about
You're talking about that. Yeah. Right. So you can do it through Ingram, because they'll just they'll print it independently, because that's how Ingram rolls. They're almost like the Amazon printing service, except they're Barnes and Nobles, right? And they can print internationally.
Yeah, they work with everybody. They've been around for decades.
Yeah, Ingram's great. I mean, they're kind of the gold standard, or I should say, like the bar in working in digital that then can be printed physical.
My battery's about to die.
Your battery on your computer is about to die. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. No, we'll get one more question in here. What have been the biggest challenges that you've had to face making and crowdfunding comics, Dave?
The biggest challenges is growing the audience. That's very difficult. There is this ceiling, and you, so is this so. It's very tough to get outside of your circle, your reach, right? And I haven't yet figured out how to really do that through the network that I have right now. So somehow you have to go beyond the network, and maybe through a Critical Blast we can reach new people. That's the most difficult thing, the marketing thing, the reaching people thing. So making the book, that's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's a lot of work, but the most difficult part comes afterwards, selling the book, getting people to actually buy it. Yeah.
Yes, Mike, that was a prototype edition of the artist edition.
It was only 80 pages, though, not the full 130 that Dave decided to balloon the book to, for God knows what reason, other than the fact that he loves his backers and wants to give them the best.
Everybody's ballooning this thing. Dave ballooned it to 130. By the time it was done, we ballooned it to 134. I'm like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
No, but this is the same principle. When I produce a comic book, I want to make the book that I want to buy, that I want to receive. When I open the package, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And the same thing goes for the artist edition. People pay like $45 for the cheapest version, right? But they get this hefty 130 book filled with awesome stuff. And that's the thing that I like to receive also. That's basically it, guys. I want you guys to be satisfied with your purchase.
And I appreciate RJ ballooning it to 132 so that it's divisible by 4 and can be properly bound into a perfect bound format.
Well, at 134, you have to add 2 more pages.
Well, yeah, either 2 more or 2 less. I'm betting on 132 because that's a good number. 136 is a weird.
I promise RJ no more pages. So this is it. This is it, guys. So.
Now Dave's lying. He's going to add another 30, and it's going to be 170 something, and then we're all going to be super.
An original piece just for the book, but lasts.
What about you, RJ? What's the biggest obstacle you've had to face growing your business as a publisher, but also as on the fulfillment side of things? Because we have to have you back on just to talk about Critical Blast and where you're at with that.
Not
What?
enough time in a day. I mean,
Not enough time, right?
when I
Not
have
enough
fulfillment
forklifts.
competing with publishing, competing with writing, I mean, we want to do our own books too, like, the Sensei Nosferatu Pak. Uh, that's in the hopper. That's our graphic novel. He's the biggest, baddest, flyest, mother-loving son of a magic user you've ever seen in the 70s. And he knows martial arts too.
What have you been smoking?
I don't smoke and I barely drink.
What have you been like shooting into your eye socket? Sensei Nosferatu Pak. Lay
Yes,
that
it's
down real quick.
Sensei Nosferatu Pak is just like I said, the biggest, baddest, flyest. Shaft meets. Okay, it's
That's
Power
what
Man
I want to hear. I want to see
became-
the. I want to see like the quick pitch. Yeah.
Okay, Power Man became the Sorcerer Supreme in the 70s.
So blaxploitation, sorcery, martial arts.
Yes.
Yeah,
Black
he's a
mystic
bad
arts
mother.
and food.
Shut your mouth. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's
All
the
right,
parallel
I mean-
book to Fenton Elephant. They're both coming out at the same time.
Think chewing tobacco. Oh, I mean, okay. Yeah, it's got it like up in his. What gave you that idea? I mean, that's as it's original. I'll give you that. It's different, but it's one of those like mishmash mashups of genres that I would not expect.
It's
What gave
just
you that
the
idea?
it's just the way my weird sense of humor works.
Right.
And my friends, Nosferatu Pak birthed himself out of a conversation with me and other people, and it was just
It
it's
was
like, we
George
don't
Peter
know
Gatzis,
really-
wasn't it? You were talking.
It
to
was George Peter Gatzis.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
you get the joke.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
Only George,
Please.
you and George would come up with something like that. Mobig says Shaft meets an awkward spot to pause. I mean, it's definitely something that's going to fill a gaping hole in the market.
Those gaping
Mo.
holes need filled. So we're going to outblack Eric July with this.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that. So do you have any advice for fledgling creators trying to get into comics, Dave? Don't.
Don't. Yeah,
Don't.
but yeah, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So there is. You can have a lot of dreams, right? But you have to make those first steps and keep your goals attainable. So don't go. I'm going to create this vast universe and then the 20 titles. Keep your goals small. Make one book. Just try to make one book. Make a page. Make a book. Bring out the book. Do the next step. Get out of your comfort zone. And things are scary. There are a lot of you get anxious. You have a lot of competition. You have a lot of like crowdfunding stuff to deal with, or however you want to do it. And this fear is good. This means that you care, right? So just go out there, try it, guys. That's it. I'm really lousy, like giving motivational speeches.
What about you, RJ? What advice do you have to creators who are looking to hook up with a publisher or who are facing difficulties fulfilling their books?
If you're facing difficulties fulfilling, you can always come to us for advice. The advice is free. We consult with people on what to do with their campaigns as time permits when it's free. But we try to make ourselves available to them. People ask us, what do you charge me for your shipping? I'm like, I charge you nothing, because it's
Right, you
built
charge
into
the
your-
backers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the shipping is for, is to cover all the shipping services. So it costs you nothing out of pocket unless you screw up your campaign somehow.
Right.
you spend shipping.
The creators aren't paying you any sort of fee out of their own pocket to send the stuff to the backers. The backers are effectively the ones paying you to fulfill their books.
Yeah, it's the same with the publishing. How much to get you to publish my book? I'm like, if you're paying a publisher, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, they're not paying you, you're crowdfunding it, so you're getting the backers to pay for the publishing of the book so that
Right,
you
but
can
I
give
mean,
it to them.
this
And
was
then,
this wasn't crowdfunded. Melvin wasn't crowdfunded. None of the other books were crowdfunded. They come to us, we edit it, we give it the ISBN, and then we put it out there with a back end deal where this is how the profit's going to be split. And
what's the back end deal like?
It's 80-20 right now.
Okay. Oh, I mean, 80 in your favor or 80 in their favor?
No, I tried that one. Nobody wanted to bite on that one, so I had to flip it. It's 20 in our favor.
Well, it would be 80 in your favor if you were also selling it, but you're letting Ingram do that.
We're letting Ingram do that. And yeah, I mean, we do have a catalog on our website. If you go to criticalblast.com, there's a bookstore, and we have all the books available
offering
there.
it for sale and selling it are two different things.
Yeah. Now, again, we're not maintaining the inventory. You're just buying direct from Ingram, but the creators do get a larger chunk when you do that because Amazon's not taking their 55% discount.
Yeah. 55? It's up to 55? I thought it was
Well,
only
your local
30
comic shop
still.
is taking anywhere from 45 to 50% discount.
I mean, that's different because you're selling it wholesale to the comic book shop, but you're also moving 10,000 units a month. That's a lot different than your one book on Amazon that one person is buying being 55% of your profits. You know, it's like there's a guaranteed, 1,000 orders going to shops if you're into distribution.
Profits of raised.
We got Connery in the chat. What's up, Connery? Glad to see you. We're about to sign off though, so too bad you can't stay with us any longer. So yeah, that's it for the show tonight, guys. Frequency Girl's computer died, so there's no helping with the outro. So I'm gonna have to wing it. Don't forget to go check out Perfect 10 number 4 on Indiegogo right now. There's only 2 hours left in that campaign.
No, it's until 11:59 p.m. Pacific time.
So there's another
That's
6
more.
hours left Pacific, right? So it's three additional hours.
So 8 hours.
8 hours. So there's 8 hours left in that campaign.
Oh, really?
Plenty of time to back, but it's your last shot, right? And we want you to get in on that. And you've got plenty of time to back the artist's edition of Perfect 10 on Fund My Comic because it's a storefront and it doesn't seem to be like going anywhere anytime soon. But we definitely want you to get in on that because it is a limited edition product, right? It's a limited edition book that's not going to be mass produced on the market. It's going to be printed to the number and fulfilled and then just available from Ingram at a hefty markup. So anything else to say before we get on out of here, Dave?
No, thank you, Nev and Frequency Girl for the invite, for the platform. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who makes this happen for us. Without backers, we can't do anything. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, Mike, I shipped out your package today, so it's coming your way.
And RJ, what about you? Anything to say to the audience before we take off?
Just back Perfect 10 Artist Edition on Fund My Comic today.
Definitely. All right. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We could not do this show without any of you. We'd be just screaming into the void. So thanks so much. If you liked the content, give us a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, that would be cool too. And click the bell for notifications to find out when we go live next.
And tune into the frequency.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Now I click brand and then the outro right? So
then-
that